Over to Newcastle. Newcastle obviously are in a big race to get into the top four, potentially top five. Will get a Champions League spot, but is the biggest importance of that being their only chance of keeping hold of Alexander Isak this coming summer?
Yeah, look, that's going to be a tough one. I mean, we know that he's attracting a lot of attention. Newcastle, sorry, and are obviously desperate to keep hold of him. I think it would be Champions League football would make a big difference. They'd probably have to give him a new contract and renegotiate his contract on the back of that. I see Liverpool now joining the race to be one of the big suitors for him. He's very sought after, and if he keeps fit, there's no doubt that Newcastle will have to pull something out of the bag to keep him. Now, this also may play into these APT situations, where if Newcastle can actually get bigger sponsorship contracts, they could find a way to keep Isak. But I think football terms, he would certainly like to see Champions League. But it's getting tough for Newcastle. A couple of bad results recently. They've got to kick on now, and so a lot of things in balance there. But there's no doubt he has got a big target on his back from other clubs.
And you mentioned the Liverpool link. It looks like Liverpool may offer Darwin Nunez in a sort of swap deal or add him into the transfer that goes over for a potential deal for Isak. How much would Newcastle be interested in a deal like that, or that has no relation to potentially moving Alexander Isak?
No, I think it's got every part to it. I think that they would have to have some sort of replacement built in, whether they think Nunes is good enough to be part of that replacement, or where Eddie Howe looks at maybe having two or three potential strikers rather than one central one. It's going to depend on how he views things. Um, I wouldn't, suggest that Nunes is as good as Isak at all, and it would obviously be Nunes plus a lot of cash. But still, if there is serious PSR issues and if they can't be resolved by Newcastle, if they don't get in the Champions League, then we're going to be looking at some sort of deals. Arsenal will be there as well. So it's going to be a very interesting scenario to watch as we go forward the next few months.
And Newcastle fans are furious by the League Cup final ticket prices at Wembley. Is there anything that the club can actually do about this?
No, nothing the club can do, and also they're furious about the amount they've been given, which I believe is less than the last time they made it into the cup final. I think their sponsors have taken a number of tickets, and it's one of those things. It's like catch 22. You want the sponsors, you want the revenue, and of course the sponsors want tickets as part of their package. And the fans, when it comes to getting a cup final, particularly in Newcastle, they all want to be there. Look, you could sell the same ticket allocation, which I think was about 31,000 this year. You could probably sell it 10, 20 times over in Newcastle. So there's always going to be that issue around getting tickets. I don't think price is going to be a big issue for them. I think the fans would pay whatever it takes to get it, to be honest. Not to say that the tickets should be fairly priced, but nevertheless, Newcastle, if they do anything like this, there's always going to be a huge demand. The city's so in love with the club that you're always going to see this fight. And I know that everybody will be borrowing, stealing. Everybody will suddenly have relatives at the football club. The stories will come out of the woodwork about, why they deserve tickets. It's fantastic. And there'll be all sorts of, I'm sure there could be a book written about trying to get tickets in Newcastle for this cup final.